What if drinking water first thing in the morning could actually harm your health? The water itself isn't the problem, but when combined with certain habits, it can lead to everything from nausea to long-term stress on your organs. While most people focus on the benefits of morning hydration, few talk about the potential dangers when it's done carelessly. This is especially important for older adults, whose systems tend to be more sensitive and reactive. Your kidneys, your digestion, your heart, they all rely on timing, balance, and context. When you wake up, your body is in a delicate state. Hormones are shifting, blood pressure is adjusting, and electrolyte levels are low. If you flood your system the wrong way or with the wrong tools, you may not feel the effects immediately, but that doesn't mean they're not happening. Some people feel bloated. Others notice heart palpitations or cold sweats. Some just feel off and don't know why. It's easy to miss the connection, but once you understand how it works, it starts to make sense. In this video, we're going to break down 5 common mistakes that can turn morning water into a hidden health risk. Each one represents a quiet danger that many people overlook, and the last one might even change the way you think about your entire morning routine. If you care about keeping your digestion calm, your heart steady, and your mind clear, stay with us. This might be one of the most surprising and important things you learn all week. Number 1. Ice cold water on an empty stomach. It might feel refreshing. It might even wake you up. But pouring ice cold water into your body first thing in the morning is a shock your system doesn't need. Overnight, your internal organs settle into a gentle rhythm. Your blood vessels are slightly constricted, and your digestive tract is dormant. Suddenly sending freezing water down that quiet pipeline is like slamming on the brakes before your car's engine has even warmed up. It disrupts digestion, tenses your stomach muscles, and narrows blood vessels, just when they're trying to open up and help your body ease into the day. The problem isn't the water, it's the temperature. Cold water forces your body to expend extra energy just to regulate your core temperature again. For younger people, that might not seem like a big deal. But for older adults with slower metabolisms, it can put unnecessary stress on the cardiovascular system. You might feel a sudden headache, a flash of dizziness, or a lingering chill in your chest. These aren't signs of refreshment. They're signs that your body is bracing against something it didn't expect. Take Ella Lanner, a 76-year-old woman who started each morning with a tall glass of ice water straight from the fridge. She liked how it cleared her throat and made her feel alert. But soon, she noticed her stomach would cramp, her fingers would feel cold, and her digestion felt sluggish throughout the morning. After mentioning it to her doctor, she was advised to switch to room temperature water for a few weeks. The change was immediate. Her stomach stopped knotting. Her hands stopped trembling. Mornings became calmer, more comfortable, and less reactive. We often think discomfort is just part of aging, but many small aches and jolts come from habits that no longer match what our bodies need. Cold water might have felt energizing at 25. At 75, it might be doing more harm than good. So if your mornings start with something that feels like a jolt to the system, take a step back. Let your body wake up gently. Choose water that's closer to your body temperature. Give your organs the respect they deserve. After all, they've carried you this far, they've earned it. Number 2. Drinking too fast or in large gulps. There's something satisfying about taking a big drink, especially when you're thirsty. But drinking water too fast, especially right after waking up, can throw your whole system off balance. When your body is still transitioning from sleep to wakefulness, everything is more sensitive. Your stomach lining isn't prepared. Your heart rate is adjusting. Your blood pressure is still recalibrating. Chugging a full glass of water, even if it's room temperature, can trigger bloating, dizziness, or even nausea. Some people feel lightheaded and have no idea why. When you drink too quickly, your body doesn't have time to process that sudden intake. Your kidneys are forced to work harder. Your electrolyte balance shifts. Your stomach expands rapidly. And all of that can create discomfort, gas, or even trigger acid reflux. Acid reflux is already a concern for many people, but especially for those who are prone to it. Seniors need to be particularly mindful, as fluid regulation becomes more delicate with age. What might seem like an efficient habit, quickly getting hydration out of the way, can actually trigger a chain reaction that leaves you feeling worse instead of better. Take Walter, a 72-year-old former coach who treated hydration like a morning discipline. His routine was strict: wake up, stretch, and down an entire bottle of water before his feet even hit the floor. Over time, though, he began to feel oddly dizzy in the mornings. He wasn't skipping meals. He wasn't dehydrated. It didn't make sense until he explained his routine to his doctor. That's when the issue became clear. He was overwhelming his system before it had time to stabilize. The solution was simple. He began sipping his water slowly over 15 to 20 minutes instead. The result? His symptoms disappeared. There's a natural rhythm to hydration, and honoring that rhythm, especially right after waking up, can make all the difference. Sipping slowly allows your body to absorb water more efficiently. It eases the strain on your kidneys, prevents sudden drops in electrolyte levels, and helps you avoid that weak, jittery feeling. So instead of rushing through your morning glass of water, turn it into a gentle ritual. Sit up, breathe, and sip with intention. Let your body receive, not react. A few extra minutes can save you an entire day of discomfort. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, leave a comment with number 2 to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support helps us continue to create content that informs and inspires. Let's move on. Number 3, drinking from plastic bottles that have been sitting out overnight. Sometimes the danger isn't in the water, it's in the container. A lot of people leave a plastic bottle by their bedside at night, thinking it's just a convenient way to stay hydrated in the morning. But if that bottle sits too long, especially in a warm room or in direct sunlight, it can start to leach chemicals into the water. One major concern is a compound called BPA, commonly found in older or lower quality plastics. Even bottles labeled BPA-free aren't always safe, as the replacement chemicals can behave similarly. And once heat and time enter the equation, the risk increases. Here's why that matters. These chemicals are known as endocrine disruptors. They can mimic hormones and interfere with how your glands function. For seniors already managing conditions like blood sugar issues, blood pressure, or thyroid function, this added hormonal interference, even in small doses, can knock the body further out of balance. Symptoms won't always show up right away, but over time you might notice more fatigue, mood swings, or digestive changes without realizing that your harmless bedtime habit could be part of the problem. Consider Stanley, a 78-year-old who took pride in staying hydrated every morning. He kept a store-bought plastic water bottle by his bed, refilled it from the tap, and reused it for weeks without a second thought. It sat next to a warm lamp, sometimes in direct sunlight. Gradually, he began experiencing persistent headaches and bloating that didn't line up with his diet or medications. After doing some research and speaking with a nutritionist, Stanley switched to glass and stainless steel containers and stopped leaving bottles out overnight. Within weeks, the symptoms eased and his energy levels finally stabilized. We're often tempted to ignore small exposures like these, especially when they seem harmless. But as our bodies age, every added chemical load has an impact. Your liver has to work harder, your hormones are thrown off, and your system becomes more vulnerable to outside stressors. If you've been reusing plastic bottles or leaving water in soft containers by your bed, it might be time to change that habit. Choose glass, choose stainless steel, or at the very least, refill a clean container each morning. It's a simple shift, but one that can bring major peace of mind. Number 4, drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach right after medications. Mornings are a delicate time for your body. It's coming out of a fasting state, adjusting its rhythm, and for many older adults, it's also the time for medications, blood pressure pills, thyroid medication, pain relievers, and more. These tiny pills may seem small, but they carry huge responsibilities. And what most people don't realize is that how you take them, especially in relation to water and food, can make a big difference. Drinking plain water on an empty stomach right after taking certain medications can lead to nausea, stomach discomfort, and even reduced effectiveness. Some medications are meant to be taken with food, others require an empty stomach, but not to be followed by large amounts of water. Still others react poorly with certain acidity levels, which can shift depending on what and how you drink. Your digestive system isn't just a passive tube, it's a complex, sensitive environment. The timing and manner in which you hydrate and medicate matters more than most people think. Your stomach operates on a delicate balance. Enzymes, fluids, and timing all work together to support digestion and absorption. Flooding it with water at the wrong time, especially on an empty stomach or right after a heavy meal, can interfere with how your body absorbs medication. That means you might not be getting the full benefits, or worse, you might be irritating your stomach lining without realizing it. Take Margaret, for example. She's 80 years old and began experiencing unexplained nausea each morning. Her diet was steady. Her blood work looked fine, but like clockwork, about 30 minutes after taking her thyroid medication with a large glass of water, she'd feel queasy and off balance. Her doctor realized the issue. She was drinking too much, too fast, on an empty stomach, and not giving her body enough time to adjust before eating. After switching to a smaller sip of water with her pill and waiting 45 minutes before breakfast, her symptoms vanished completely. Even better, her next blood test showed her medication was working more efficiently. It's easy to underestimate how sensitive the body is in the early hours, especially when you've been on the same medications for years. But our bodies change with time. What worked before might not work now. When we approach our routines with curiosity instead of assumption, we create space for better outcomes before problems take root. So if you've been waking up feeling nauseous, or if your medications seem less effective than they used to be, it might be worth reevaluating your morning hydration habits. Look closely at what you're drinking, how much, and when. A small tweak could make a big difference. If you're still with us and these insights are resonating, leave a comment with number 4 to let us know you're here. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Your support helps us continue making helpful content like this. Let's move on to the final point. Number 5. Skipping breakfast and replacing it with only water. At first glance, it sounds disciplined, even healthy. Many people wake up, drink a large glass of water, and skip breakfast entirely, thinking they're doing their bodies a favor. But for older adults, this habit can quietly drain your energy, lower blood sugar, and leave you starting the day in a deficit that's hard to recover from. Water is essential, but water alone won't stabilize your system. Without food, you may find yourself feeling bloated, irritable, or mentally foggy, and you might not even connect those symptoms to your morning habits. When you wake up, your body is still in a fasting state. Your glucose levels are low, your brain needs fuel, your muscles are waiting for nutrients. Water helps rehydrate your cells and jumpstart circulation, but it doesn't provide the carbohydrates or proteins your body needs to function properly. And if you follow that water with coffee, you've just stimulated your system without grounding it. Suddenly, you're jittery, anxious, or emotionally flat by mid-morning. And it's easy to blame age, stress, or poor sleep when the real cause may just be lack of nourishment. Let's look at Alice, a 69-year-old who decided to simplify her mornings. She read that water boosts metabolism and that intermittent fasting was popular, so she skipped breakfast and only drank water until noon. At first, she noticed a small drop in weight, but soon after, her energy dipped. Her mood declined. She began forgetting things. Her daughter noticed she was repeating herself during conversations. A trip to the doctor revealed no major health issue, just a lack of consistent glucose intake. Once Alice added a small, protein-rich breakfast to her mornings, something simple like eggs and fruit or oatmeal with nuts, her energy returned, her focus improved, and she started feeling like herself again. Skipping breakfast might sound harmless, even admirable, but for an aging body, especially one managing medications or hormonal changes, it can be risky. Think of breakfast as the kindling in a fire. Without it, the flame flickers. With it, you burn steady and strong. Water plays a key role, but it can't carry the weight alone. So if you've been starting your day with just water, believing that less is more, this might be the adjustment that changes everything. Give your body both hydration and nourishment. That's how you truly wake up, inside and out. Final thoughts. Your morning routine has power. It sets the tone for everything that follows. Your energy, your focus, your health. Drinking water in the morning absolutely has its benefits. But like anything else, it's not one size fits all. Water helps when handled with care. If we rush, overdo it, or ignore how our bodies respond, something intended to help can quietly become a source of harm. As we grow older, our bodies become more sensitive. What once felt invigorating might now feel overwhelming. What used to seem harmless may now deserve a second thought. But this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. It's about learning how to care for the body you have today, not the one you had 20 years ago. Maybe that means sipping your water slowly instead of gulping it down. Maybe it means warming it up just a little, or having a small bite to eat before hydrating. Maybe it's finally time to let go of that old plastic bottle you've been reusing for far too long. These aren't drastic changes, they're intentional ones. And it's often those small, mindful adjustments that protect our comfort, boost our clarity, and preserve our confidence as we move through life. The fact that you've taken the time to learn how simple habits can have a meaningful impact says a lot about you. You're someone who pays attention, someone who cares, someone who is still growing, still learning, and still choosing to invest in their well-being. That mindset alone adds strength to every day. Habali. So don't stop here. Choose one thing from today's video and try it tomorrow morning. Notice how your body responds when you treat it not out of routine, but with respect. Thank you for being here with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one insight that stood out to you or one change you plan to make. Your voice matters to us, and reading your comments is a true source of encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content to inform and inspire. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.